Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One Doc.
It's your girl, BD.
It's Foreign's the fiance.
And we are back. Not only are we back, we're back with a change of plans. This week, we decided that we are going to cover the Tinder Swindler. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because it's just that time. We were just like, I'm sorry, Janet, babes, you're going to have to wait a little bit because it's just that time. I feel like we just had to.
Yeah.
We just had to.
There was too much chitter-chatter.
Too much chitter-chatter. And we were kind of just like, yeah, this has to be discussed. It has to be discussed. And not only does it have to be discussed, it has to be discussed now. So I'm going to play the trailer now for anyone who is unaware, who's living under a rock and is not aware of this documentary. And then we'll get right into it.
You can find a bit of everything on Tinder, but one little swipe can change your life.
I only miss you when it rains.
When I first talked with Simon, immediately we had a bond.
And when I listen to the radio,
He was smart and funny and very impulsive.
I shared my whole heart with him.
And then he asked me if I wanted to travel with him on a private jet. I was like, shit.
He took me to a 5-star hotel. He said,
We had a special connection.
It felt like stepping into a movie. And then in the middle of the night, he said there was something he wants to tell me. He said he has threats against him.
He needs our cash.
$20,000.
30,000.
$140,000.
His life depended on me. That's when police tell me the man I loved was never real. Everything's a lie. Who is this guy I've been sharing the same bed with?
Then I get these threatening messages.
Take my advice. Just watch out.
We have no idea what he's capable of. It's just been fucking hell.
I'm really freaking out.
But we needed to get payback.
We don't know how far this conspiracy actually goes.
It's just the tip of the iceberg.
We had one chance.
To swindle the Tinder Swindler.
You double-crossed me? You're gonna pay for it.
So I'm drinking today. I'm drinking red wine. I've really become a red wine babe. And I'm not drinking my usual jammy red roux. I'm drinking a Malbec, which is just the name of one of those red wines that you see on the shelves.
I've got a red wine waiting for, like, Elle gave it to us ages ago. We haven't drank it yet.
Oh, yeah. Maybe when we do the credits at your new crib.
No, I won't drink.
Oh, you're not going to drink? Oh,
I have so much, like, I have the bottle of champagne my parents got me. I've got this bottle of wine my friend got me. I've been given a lot of alcohol as house.
Just be collecting it, and then when you have your house, you just have a little wine cooler cellar area, and then that can be.
Guys, I did say I'm accepting gifts.
Yeah, every time I come to your home, I'm gonna bring a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time I come back, I look to see if anybody has delivered anything to me.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Wow, what a bunch of fake bitches.
What a bunch of fake bitches. So this documentary opens up with a blonde woman and she's talking about love. Her name's Cecile. And she's just saying how she loves being in love. And when she was in love, these were her happiest times. And this babe's talking about how she loves, like, Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And, like, it's such an amazing story because they both save each other and all of this fuck shit, yeah. And I'm just thinking, as she's saying all of this is actually the problem with, like, women and dating. And I'm one of these people that has this
It's
problem.
so funny that you say that, because literally when I was watching, I was like, oh my God, this is Florence. I was like, this
is me.
Is you, but blonde and white.
Yeah. Literally,
she's like, oh, it's just a fairy tale, and you just see yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, the amount of times we've had this conversation, and I just roll my eyes like, Lord have mercy.
Literally, we romanticize everything because this is what we're sold, and this is what we're told.
Exactly.
Told love and romance should be like, and if it's not like that, it's like, what the fuck is going on? You don't
want it. Yeah.
And you know what? As this story goes on, not as it goes, I see myself in her a lot. But from the outside looking in, these are some dumb bitches.
Yeah.
So she tells us that she's been on Tinder for 7 years.
But she's the dumbest of the bitches. I'm sorry. Because there's levels to the dumbness of the bitches involved. She's the dumbest of them all.
Is she the dumbest?
I believe so.
Yeah. Like, so this babe is telling us that she's been on Tinder for 7 years, yeah. And it's like, what are you training for? The Olympics. You were there year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7. Like, at a point, it's like, give it a rest. It's almost like this is her hobby. Like, what are you doing on Tinder for
I'm not
7
going to lie,
years?
yeah. Them dating apps, yeah. It's almost like a game. I'm not going to lie. Because even
it's
though...
a game to you because you were detached from I really want to settle down. If you really wanted to settle down, you'd want to quickly end. When they said Hinge was the app to be deleted, yeah, I remember like anytime I'd start talking to a guy a bit serious, I'd delete it. Because I just kept wanting to remove those apps from my life.
It's so funny. Meanwhile, I literally was on Hinge like for the bants. I literally was just like, do you know what? Let's just practice the chat. Do you know what I mean? Get a bit of chatting.
No, but literally me, I'm the girl that if you say hey to, I've planned our like wedding, the baby names, everything. Like
you are.
It's literally a blessing that I'm out the game because I wasn't built for it. Like I fell in love like every 2
and
to 5
not in this
working
era.
days.
This is not the era of you dropped your books. Hey, here's your books.
Yeah,
this is not that. And that's where you belong.
That's where I belong. Like somewhere in the 50s without the racism.
Sounds racist smooth.
So she says she's from Norway, but she lives in London. And she's saying that dating is hard and it's not easy to find what you're looking for, which I found shocking because for white people, like, the world is really their oyster.
Yeah, you're everyone's type.
Like, you're everyone's type. Your social economic status is usually quite decent by default, like, of being white. Like, you have options. Like, black women have to think about 50 million things before we can
Does he even like me?
Fam. So I found it quite strange that she said that, but oh well. So one day she's swiping and she meets this guy called Simon and she swipes left or is it right? I'm so out
I've
of
never
touch.
been a Tinder babe, so I don't know.
So either way, she swipes the one that's let's get it jiggy.
Yeah.
Well, let's get jiggy with it.
Get jiggy with it. Na 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 na.
So she says on his profile he has a lot of lavish cars, private jets, etc. He's just living lavish, like
La vida
living
loca.
lavish, literally. So quickly this guy, like, they match, and that same like day he's like, yeah, come to my London hotel for coffee. He says he's traveling the next day, so he wants to meet her. So they go to the Four Seasons. FYI, Four Seasons is one of the hotels I was considering for my wedding. It's absolutely stunning, guys. If you're in Dubai, do your wedding there. Yeah, it is. I didn't know it was so luxurious before this.
Yeah, I don't know why in my head it just seems like it was giving me Hilton.
Yeah, same.
Like, Hilton is nice, of course.
I think I've stayed in one in America, and that's why I felt that way. Because, like, Hilton is really nice, but it depends on which Hilton.
Where you are, exactly.
Yeah, but Four Seasons in Dubai was stunning. Like, they have an Hermes shop inside.
Dubai, of course it was.
They have an Hermes shop inside. They have an Hermes shop inside the hotel.
Very on brand. Very on brand.
Very on brand. So he invites her to coffee at his hotel in Four Seasons. She's saying that she gets there and she feels so out of place. Everybody's so fancy and so this and so that. And then he comes out.
You didn't know you were going to Four Seasons, so you didn't dress as
fam. So he comes down the elevator and it's like a movie. So she says, and it opens up. He's stunning. He saunters to her. They talk all day, and he's like, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna come with me to Bulgaria.
On my private jet.
On my PJ, as Liz
and your
calls
brain
it.
didn't scream human trafficking, kidnapping, sexual assault.
Ritual. Anybody
Money
that
ritual.
asks me to follow them to a different country upon the first date is a
Unprovoked.
ritualist.
You don't know if I'm
Literally,
mad.
you want to use my organs for money-making ritual?
Yeah,
Not me and you in this
honestly.
life. That just shows these people do not watch enough Nollywood because this is the exact recipe for money-making ritual.
100%.
So anyways, he gets her a car and the car takes her back to her house where she packs her stuff, and then like there's a Rolls Royce waiting for her. So like all of these things are just like, it is very movie like.
And also, are you jobless? Like what? So all of a sudden you just I can just
But this is the life that a lot of I'm gonna say this is the life a lot of white girls live, in the sense that not that they will get taken on private jets and whatever, but they live this like carefree, like up and go, because like if they lose their job, they're gonna find another one. Like,
I also think that they don't need to consider the same things maybe that we need to consider, because if I were to go missing, the world may not care. There's not going to be outrage, uproar. It's just going to be another black bitch that went missing kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's
one less nigger in the one less lonely nigger.
Yeah, there's just this carefree attitude of like, I can just like, you know, which
the world is my oyster,
it must be so freeing. Like, and even if something happens, where so for example, there's one time where we were going for a house viewing, and I think I had my hair in like them like big box braid things, and I was like, oh shit, like maybe I should like wear a wig, because what if I look too black and then they don't want, do you know what I mean? It's like, even though that may be an irrational thought to some, there are some people who that thought would never even have to mention their mind. It's not even a case of what if. Like, it's like, if I don't get it, it's because I just didn't get it. You don't have to second guess if I didn't get it because of this particular thing that is to do with my identity.
And you always know that you're gonna be all right, which is true. Like, you know that, okay, even if say you've gone off and you've gone on holiday without telling your boss, so you miss a day of work and you get fired, like, you'll get another job, because you don't have to worry about being racially profiled in an interview or this or that. Like, you're gonna be fine.
That's the thing. You don't even have that paranoia, that thought, because say for example, even if you weren't racially profiled for an interview, the fact that it has happened before and will continue to happen, it's very plausible for you to think that may be a reason, even if technically it wasn't the reason. Do you know what I mean? But no, it's a carefree life, man. I love it for her.
I love it for her. So this Rolls Royce picks her up and they go on a private jet. And on this jet, she's with him, his ex, and their daughter, and then some bodyguards. And like we see this, like, it looks like a Snapchat video, and she like kisses him on the cheek. And it's like, white love
is being a basic bitch. She literally is like snapping, walking up the stairs of the private jet, snapping the place. I said, just have some decorum. Like, please act like you've done this before.
You know what? I get it, because I'm not gonna lie, that is like something out of a movie. If I went on a date and a guy takes me on a private jet, which will never happen because I watch in Hollywood and I know that's money making ritual. Right. But if say it happened, I wouldn't really be thinking like, oh, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this guy. I'll be thinking, God has given me this once in a lifetime, like movie, like date. Let me just whatever. So I would be snapping it and showing my friends, like,
I mean,
can you see how I'm living for this one day?
Just a bit more slide. Like, she literally was just, I don't know. Like, I feel like I would have been like sliding in the group chat. I'm sure she was uploading to Instagram real time.
So he lands and he goes in one car and her and the baby mama go in another. And it's so fucking weird.
Very strange.
Why would you be on your technically first date?
First meeting.
Like, if this guy has all this money, couldn't he just get his baby mum and daughter on a normal flight? Did they have to come on the private jet with you two? It's fucking weird.
Even if they had to come on a private jet because that's your child and the mother of your child, why would I be in a car with them? Why would I not be in a car with you and they be in their own car?
So she starts chatting to the baby mums, as you would, but it was really strange because she's asking her questions about the guy, which I just wouldn't do personally. Like, I don't even know what this is. I just met him today. Why am I?
It's true.
You're asking her questions like, oh, you guys have been together for like 5-6 months and you're trying to just see where it's going. You met him that day. So basically she's asking all these questions about like what kind of guy he is and, you know, who he is and all of that. And the baby mum's like, listen, he's a great father. He's a great guy. He looks after, you know, us as a family, and he's a really nice person. Now, rewind, I forgot to mention, whilst they're talking, this guy says he's the king of diamond's son. So like there's this guy called his surname is Lviv. I can't remember his
name. His name is Lev Leviev.
Lev Leviev. Okay. He's like an Israeli diamond like mogul.
They have this company called LLD or something like that.
Yeah, diamond. And he basically says that's his son or that's his dad. And he even shows her pictures and stuff like that. So this is relevant. He shows her pictures and yeah, it's all very believable. Shows like the company site and everything.
And that would explain why he has so much money.
Exactly. So after they get to the hotel, she goes up with him and then he apparently kisses her and it's like a movie and they shag. During the shagation...
Not the shagation. The shagation in the dancery.
She sees like all these scratch marks on his back here. And this guy says he was in prison in South Africa because he went there for a deal. And then the people involved in the deal reneged. So they arrested him under false pretenses.
And it's in jail.
Like,
that he
this
got
is the first
marks.
fucking red flag, because it's like, if you're really that guy, like if you're really saying who you are, there's no way you would have been arrested for this length of time. And there, especially in Africa, like it's all about who you know and bribery.
Yeah, exactly.
He would have bribed his way out of prison like in a heartbeat. What are you talking about?
100%.
So this babe is all in
100%.
bed with him, and she said,
He is this kind of person that you want to save, especially because he has so much responsibility on his back. Everyone is relying on him.
and I'm like, what the fuck are you chatting about?
Do you know
What-
this girl fumbled the bag, yeah? There's one girl that I think really benefited from all of this and was not a victim. Because
Yeah.
this is the kind of guy that, like, you
You
just
rob.
realise he's chatting shit and you rob him, literally.
Yeah.
Or you just rinse, you go for your private jet, let him take you here later. You don't do shit for this kind of person. You just let him take you out and romance you. Then you finesse him, you leave. If not, this situation, you are either it's kill or be killed. It's like finesse or be finessed. And sis, you were
Oloni
finessed.
said it. She was like, somebody asked like, what was the first red flag of this like documentary, and Oloni was like, a billionaire being on Tinder, and it's so fucking true. Like for you, if you're that, it's like scrolling through Tinder and seeing a celeb that, you know, they have like exclusive celeb dating apps, like where you need to go through so many different things just to get on the app. Like, why would a billionaire who has access to all these women, he should have been sleeping with all these models and this and that. What the fuck is he doing on Tinder with the rest of us riffraff? And
Literally.
you really thought, oh, like,
With us
this is your
basic
lucky
pictures.
day. Sometimes we need to be realistic with ourselves, you know. Like,
Delusions
me
of
too, if-
grandeur is not always the way to go, honestly.
Like, me
Sometimes
too, if I'm
root yourself
as
in reality.
look at your own self. If I'm walking down the street in like Mayfair and a billionaire looking man approaches me, I'll be saying to myself, my sister, you know your own self. You're 1,000 dear. You're not a billionaire.
I'll be saying to myself, finesse or be finessed.
Exactly. This may be money making ritual.
This
Keep
may be-
walking. If in doubt,
I may become
it
a
is-
goat.
I'm telling you, if in doubt, it's always money making ritual. Like, if it smells like it, looks like it, it is. So when she gets home, they start like a long distance relationship, and he really romances her. He sends these flowers, and if I received those flowers, I would fall in love. They are a beautiful
Oh, those red,
bouquet.
the massive bouquet, yeah.
Somebody needs to send that to my man and tell him these are the kind of flowers he needs to be sending me. I can't be the one always dropping hints and this and that. I feel like people who know me well enough should send it to him and be like, yo, Valentine's Day is coming.
Why are you
These are
hinting?
kind of...
Okay, send me the flowers and I'll send it to him.
Thank you.
Because I'm not doing research.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, she goes to Oslo to see family and friends. And then she's like begging him to come. He says he can't come. And then he surprises her in Oslo.
Begging.
That was where you had yourself fucked up. Begging a nigga?
Do you know what? This whole thing, obviously, he's
Sound bad.
trashing. Men shouldn't, men, yeah. But
No, I'm
like,
sorry, but by the end of this thing, I was kind of like on his side. No, I'm so
toxic
sorry, but like,
femininity.
if the shit, I'm a patriarchal princess for this one, but bro, if you are gonna behave like a fool, then a fool I shall take you for. Like,
I think he picked his victims well.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
So, he suddenly tells her that he. No, like the escalations in this documentary were wild.
It's literally
It
0
literally
to
is like being on a roller
182.
coaster. Yeah. Like 1 minute you're just at a standstill, next thing there's a drop. Like, what the fuck is going on?
It
So
literally
he
is that, what's that one in Thought Park Detonator where you're just chilling there, and then before you know it, your belly's in your mouth.
Film. So he tells her that he has this $70 million deal and his safety's at risk. And if it was me, I'd be like, okay, cool story, bro. Why are you telling me like I'm
What
not
have I got to
FBI?
do with this?
I'm not.
I'm not even your girl.
Homeland
I'm actually not your girl. Like,
fam. I'm just boy.
I'm
on
doing
you.
me GC
If it
style.
was me, I literally would respond and be like, damn, that's crazy.
But that's mad, you know.
Be safe
So
in these streets.
where are we going next?
Should I still meet you in Rome?
Literally, flowers or not?
Fam. So he goes quiet for a bit, and then she checks Tinder and sees he's been active, but he denies it. And it's like, sis,
The fact that you even had to go back, like,
that means that you're suspicious. Anyways,
Sis.
in comes this girl Pernilla. What's that bit between your vagina and your anus called? It's like
It's perineum.
Okay, because I kept calling her perineum.
Put some respect on Penilla's name, man. God.
I'm sorry.
Have mercy.
Now I'm not confused. Her name's Penilla and it's perineum. Okay, cool. So Penilla matches with Simon and she flies to Stockholm. I don't like this babe.
What,
and I'll
Penilla?
tell you why. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll tell you why a bit later.
Yeah, when we get there. Mm-hmm.
So she flies to Stockholm. And Penilla is one of those babes who, and apparently this babe is 31.
Yeah, I think she looks like 33 and he was 27 or something.
Okay, because she looks every inch of 45, but fine.
She does to be honest, she does but then was she 33 when it happened, or was she 33? Is she 33
Either
now?
way, how much?
Yeah, it's true. How long ago did it happen? Yeah, true.
So Penilla is one of those babes who wants you to think that she's an expensive babe. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to sound like a hater. There's nothing wrong with being an expensive babe.
100%.
But I feel like if you're an expensive babe, you don't need to I feel like
tell us you're an expensive babe.
Yeah, and I feel like Penilla's the kind of babe where she's in expensive places, but not by her own accord. That's the best way to put it. Okay. She didn't put herself there. She just
has been put there.
People. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we'll come to that later. That's the kind of babe I think Penilla is. She reminds me of Stifler's mum. She looks like a younger Stifler's mum. That's the best way to describe her, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Very Stifler's mum. So Penilla matches with Simon and then he flies her from Stockholm to Amsterdam to meet him. And I literally just have in caps, why are all these women travelling to see a stranger? It's an important question we need to ask.
It is, yeah. It's wild behaviour, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm actually not going to lie. Like, if you're really about it, and you really have money like that, you can come to where I am, where I have, like, family and friends, where I can share my location, where I can run and know the routes to get to safety. I'm not going to lie. I think it's so wild. And I know that people do crazy things and it works out all the time. And I know perhaps we watch a bit too much crime. But one thing about me is I'm not going out like that. That's not how my story ends. I'm not going to lie.
It's like that babe on TikTok that was like, oh, I traveled 10 hours after meeting someone on TikTok. Just for a day, and then she came to London and I was like, this is how you find yourself beheaded and used for a ritual. Like, what are you doing?
Because why?
Let us all be cautious.
Listen, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
They have this like mad chemistry on this date. They go to a diamond museum, they eat sushi, he's ordering everything from the menu. They apparently have like this sushi that they've created just for him. Like, again, like, this is like, fam, I don't even have a McDonald's burger made just for me. So obviously you're going to be like, whoa, when you go to like a 5-star sushi restaurant and
of course it's impressive. Of course it's impressive. Like, no one's denying that, like, you're it's not like raw mad thing. Like, this guy seems to be about it. No one is arguing that. It's just somebody who has all of this and is this or presents as this kind of person. Yeah. What comes next is just like, sis, like, why did 2 + 2 not equal 4 for you? I don't get it.
Yeah. And they go to a diamond museum and like he's very knowledgeable. And again, remember, he said that he's the son of a diamond, whatever. Mm-hmm. Also, Penilla says that when she matches with him and he says he's like a diamond in the diamond industry, she's like, oh no, not another one.
Oh yeah, I remember this bit. It's why I don't like it.
No, it's not. That's not the only reason, but this all adds up. Mm. So anyways, they decide that there's nothing romantic between them, but they become besties. So like me and Kingsley, except Kingsley doesn't swindle me out of, anyways. So, and I like the way Netflix does this because it's like snip, snap, like back and forth between. At this point, it's just like flipping between both, right?
Yeah.
So we're back to Cecile.
And it's so good, literally, the way, like, it took me a while to clock it.
There's a bit where it's really good.
It took me a while to clock it. I was like, oh shit.
Timeline,
yeah.
So we're back with Cecile, and bearing in mind, all this time he's telling Cecile he's got business deals, he's travelling for work all of this year. So we're back with Cecile, and he basically tells her that he wants to move in with her, and that she should find an apartment in London where the budget is $15,000 per month. The pause was intentional.
Yeah, 100%.
I wish people would just like use the sense God gave you in this life is very important.
The spirit of discernment.
It's so important. I can't emphasize enough. So again, we're on this roller coaster because next in, Simon tells her that Peter, his bodyguard, has been attacked and sends videos. Peter is hurt.
Poor Peter. Peter
Not
is
Peter.
bloodied.
Not
Bloodied
Peter.
and bruised.
Bloodied and bruised. So he says his enemies are tracing him. And the thing that's so annoying about this is that what the fuck are enemies?
This is what I'm saying. It's the phrasing of it. My enemies are like, okay, and so the enemies are who? Who are they? Are they
It's just
diamond?
like when Nigerians say like my enemies and they're talking about like people in the village. Like who are your enemies? Like who
who are you to have enemies?
Like if you have like usually even when you're watching these movies and like people are doing dodgy dealings with like Russia or like the Yakuza, like they say like, oh, like the Asians or the Yakuza or something, like, or the Russians, like what do you mean your enemies? Just like so who's your that enemy is a big range. It could be the woman at work that you passed up for a promotion.
Specific.
It could be an ex. It could be like the guy.
It's like when people say my ops. It's like, okay,
fam.
even
my enemies. And as he's saying, even if it's like, oh right, so can you explain like how
please expound upon who the enemies are and how they are related.
Just one day come and say your enemies, and me too.
Your enemies, bro, not mine,
fam. So because Peter was attacked, Peter's down.
This thing is so ridiculous.
Fam, because of this, he can't use his credit card because his enemies are tracing him. And like, it's like you're not the only fucking guy in the diamond industry for them to invest in all this time to trace you. Like, what? So he asks her,
and also, sorry, why are they coming after you and not after your father? Your father's fine. He's fine. You don't want to. He can't help you. Like, I don't understand.
So he then asks her if he can use her credit card for some time. And you see, this is where my sympathy switches. Because up until now, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, he sold you this whole dream, blah, blah, blah. But logically, this just doesn't make any fucking sense.
At all.
This man is a billionaire's son. Mm-hmm. His enemies are after him. All the people from his village, okay? His daddy can't do shit for him. His mummy can't do shit for him. His sister can't do shit for him. All the people he does business with can't do shit for him. It's now you who's on your per annum salary. That's going to be the...
And the
so
thing
if
is,
it's me, I'd have asked him, like, what would you have done if you hadn't have met me? It makes... Like, literally, like, when I'm dating, I've never been in that kind of situation, but if I ever needed money, like, there are 50 people I will go to before I go to that guy that I'm just dating.
Yeah. And the thing is that it's one thing to say to someone, listen, like, can I hold £100 for something, yeah? And another thing to say, I need your credit card to make... Is everything okay? Why am I giving you my credit card? What does that even mean?
I set the limits to my credit card very low. So...
You will not get far. It's so wild.
You're good for 2 nights at the Four Seasons Max, and that's that on that.
It's actually wild. It's so wild. I just think to myself, like... It would be... Even me that's in, like, a loving relationship, yeah? If my mum was like to me, yeah, I need your credit card to do... To do what, sir? Sir?
For whom's?
Anyway, maybe it's a life of poverty that I cannot afford to risk.
Fam.
I don't get it. I don't get what kind of carefree nature you have here. It's like there must be a line between carefree and stupidity. I feel like it was blurred.
It wasn't blurred. It was crossed over.
Well,
she said, "Oh, that's the line. I'm finna jump."
She said, she did long jump, triple jump over the line. Yeah.
You watch Handmaid's Tale, right?
Yeah, but I'm not up to date.
Oh, God.
I have commitment issues with these shows. I'm so sorry. Even This Is Us, I've fallen off. It's too sad.
Oh, yeah, I fell off that. It was just too much. Like, it was too much.
I have to watch an episode a month. There's too much sadness in one.
I wish it had... Yeah, no. So, anyways. So, he takes out... She lets him use her card, basically. Yeah. And he quickly maxes that out. That would give me cardiac arrest. What is wrong with me? That would give me cardiac arrest.
Fam.
I'm not joking. Like, to see my Amex maxed out, I
can't even imagine it. I don't play with them lots, you know. Listen, if I spend, I pay. Spend and pay. Spend and pay. I don't
of my
play.
cards. Like, and any of my cards to be maxed out. What the fuck do you mean?
What does that even mean? I don't understand how. What does that even mean? So you're telling me that I don't as in, even when I was in uni, I didn't even get overdraft because I dislike being in debt so much. Like it makes me uncomfortable.
I find even when I hear that people are in debt, yeah, like I have this like fear, and I know it's very like unrealistic, but I have this fear of one day just receiving a letter from like something that maybe I missed to pay and being told I owe like tens of thousands of pounds. Yeah, I mean, I know it wouldn't happen. Like,
very rational. Cool. But yeah, no, I'm just, for me, even like if we go out and it's like, okay, cool, I know I owe somebody money, I'm wondering that to you as soon as possible. Like, I just don't like to feel like I mean, student loan don't count, fuck them, yeah. But literally, I just feel like, I can't imagine, like, just, if I'm not going to max out my own credit card, how can I allow somebody else to max out my card? So you think that insane. After that first maxing out, like, that's it, cool, lesson learned.
So this guy comes out and says to her, listen, this money's not enough. I need $25,000 in cash. And she's like, first of all, I don't have that money.
Right.
Second of all, where am I going to get that in cash? And why do you need cash? And he's like, because it's untraceable. And he's smart because it is in cash, you can't even trace this as a debt that he owes you. So suddenly there's a new breach. And he needs to leave quickly. So she basically goes to Amsterdam and she gives him like this suitcase of cash, $25,000.
But then where did she get it from?
She took out a loan. She took out a loan and then she withdrew the money in cash.
Oh, it was one of those like payday loans.
Yeah, probably. Fucking loan sharks. And it's like, what I would give to have accidentally found that suitcase.
Bruh.
What I would give. So when she goes to Amsterdam to give him the cash, like they're chit-chatting, they don't even have sex, no chill up. Next thing there's a security breach and then he needs to leave quickly.
He's out of there, like it's with the quickness. Again, the roller coaster.
He gets the cash and goes, and like apparently he doesn't know where he's going. Then he lands and he sends her a geotag and basically he's in Stockholm. So this is when they start the snip snap
yeah,
because he's
so shady.
It's so shady because
she herself probably didn't even really deep it. Or maybe she did because anyway, whatever.
So and also I found it really weird that all of his business was just in Europe. That's what also would have been a red flag because he was going from his
except for South Africa where he was supposedly arrested and whipped in the back.
Yeah, but like she never witnessed him going to South Africa. He goes from like Europe to Europe. He goes from like Italy like
Amsterdam, Stockholm,
to Greece,
London.
Amsterdam, literally that's it.
Yeah, because them flights are cheap. But then also he's doing private jet though, isn't he? So,
but it's still a short flight. But it doesn't even make sense because like those aren't even like diamond capitals. So what is he doing there?
Of course,
that's
like, what are you doing there?
And two, why is your business only concentrated? Like this is meant to be a global business. You are the owner's son. Why is your business only concentrated to Europe? So, and also I wonder if these people even asked him what his job title was. Being a diamond owner's son is not a job title.
But you know what it is? I feel like it's like that upper echelons of society, right? Like you see the lifestyle he's living. Like, what do you mean? What's your job? What's a job? Do you know what I mean? Like you just are your father's son and you run.
That's more than enough.
The business. Yeah.
So after he's run out of the room because of a security breach, and all this time I'm wondering, does Peter have any scars? Because she's seen Peter. Peter probably looks calm. Where are his scars?
Bruh.
From being bashed in head. So we cut to Pernilla and this babe says,
he is here. Very spontaneous. So I asked him.
Basically, he's just landed in Stockholm.
Yeah.
And then,
see her.
And then she asks, like, what's the moves for tonight? And he's like, oh, we're going to a party. This is at the same time after he's just left
after
Cecile
the
telling
breach.
her, fam, that there's a security breach. He doesn't know where he's going. So she then says that at this club, there are girls, they're dancing, they're drinking, and he's spending in cash. The cash that Cecile just took out to give him.
Can you imagine?
So Simon is running out of cash and he needs to re-up. So he tells Cecile, like, you need to up your credit card limit. So she's like, yeah, like, they're not going to up it because of what I earn. And he's like, okay, it's fine. I'm going to employ you at LLD Diamonds. And they basically send a payslip to her to present to Amex. And the payslip states that she's earning 94,000 a month. So they up it.
Do you know what that revealed to me is that people in this world earn that much? Because for Amex to just kind of be like,
Oh, of course.
oh, cool, yeah, fine, great, one pay slip, off you go. It's like, hello, the fuck?
But these credit card companies are trying to get you in debt anyways. But people, regardless, though, people do earn that much. Like,
that's wild.
Forget it.
Did you
man.
see how somebody claimed £109 million in the lottery today?
Did they claim it though?
Yeah, someone claimed it in the UK.
But you know what? I keep asking God why. Maybe I've just come to the conclusion that God wants me to work for my millions. I know I'm going to be rich.
God wants that for me. I don't know that God wants that for me. I literally messaged my sister. I said, sis, is this you? Because I know she wouldn't tell no one. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm made for work. I've concluded that today.
So they up this Amex limit, and then he transfers her 250k to cover the credit card bill. So obviously she feels that
he sent her a screenshot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Of the wire transfer of him transferring her 250k.
But this babe is fucking stupid, because if someone transferred that to me, I would make sure I got that before I did anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
She didn't
she's
even
like,
check.
She's like, oh yeah, it's coming, and she'll keep checking. You know, sometimes if someone transfers you money, it might take a day or two, business days, weekends, whatever, yeah. And it's like she does whatever he says, and it's like, okay, cool, it hasn't come yet. Are you a dickhead? Are you a stupid somebody? I don't understand it.
So back to the snip of the snap. Because he's with Pernilla, and she's in Mykonos, and Simon comes to meet her with his new girlfriend. And the way they do it is really shady, because you're expecting the camera, like, or the picture to be him and Cecile. But it's this Paulina girl. So meanwhile, Cecile is waiting for him in Norway to meet her fam. Next thing, he's texting her saying, yeah, like, I'm not coming. Like, my enemies are after me. There's a lot of business work to be doing. After I close this door, I'll come. And he's in a lot of danger, so he can't be about. So meanwhile, he's still asking her for money for loans. Like, she says she gets quite stressed, because he's always asking for money or for loans.
And it's like incessant with it. Like, we see WhatsApp messages. I'm sure it's just like reenactments, but the WhatsApp messages are like literally 238, 239, 240, 241.
Literally, he stops telling her good morning. It's just, can you transfer? Can you call in?
She's really an employee, boy.
Fam. So Cecile takes out a loan for 40k, and she just keeps taking out loans. And by the time she's done, the summary of what she's taken out is $250,000.
This is madness.
That can buy you a yard.
This is actually madness, because it's like, it's not like, oh, you know, he asked for 100 here and 200 there and whatever. Like, he literally is asking for tens of thousands at a time. Like, of course it added up to 250k. What else was it going to add up to? It's so crazy to me.
But you know that amount of money, being in debt for that amount of money, and you can't even see what you've done with it. I'm not even joking. I will jump off the roof.
Yeah, remember she said there was a time when she was driving on the other side of the road, was like a massive truck. She was like, she just thought to herself, I might just have to.
No, because it's actually crushing. Like, you will.
And then it add interest. You're never coming out of that.
You're taking that to your grave. And then what are you ever going to do with credit? You can't buy a house. You can't get finance. Are you crazy?
Loan, yeah.
So, it's funny because
it's actually like, as much as I'm cussing her and she's dumb as fuck, yeah. It's actually fucked. like it's really debilitating. Like, all because she wanted to fall in love. Like,
literally.
It shouldn't be this way, man.
And the thing is that I just feel like in relationships, yeah, this is obviously financial abuse, but they're all different types of abuse and like toxic relationships. And each point, you need to really be asking yourself, what are you getting out of this? Because I feel like at a point, women get sucked into, I've spent so much time and invested so much time.
It's like compound interest, isn't it?
I can't come out. But you do, if you take, like, literally, if you sit back for a second and just say to yourself, hold on, what am I actually getting out of this? And you start to realise it's really not fucking much. Because,
like, how do you improve my life? Because even with your friends, like, when I think about my friends, like, my friends add value to my existence. It's like, how can I be with someone romantically that does not add value to my existence? In fact, you're even removing value, you're adding debt. Like, is that not madness? Like, to what end? So, okay, I stay with you, we're together. Like, why? Like, what? So then what happens then? Just to say that I'm with someone?
So basically, as she's taking out these loans, we're seeing different aspects of his summer that year. Like him and Paulina and Pernilla like traveling and going here and there, staying in like $5,000 a night hotels.
Yeah. Oh, he looked really nice though. But yeah, she is like funding his life with other women.
So finally, he's like, after his Playboy summer is done, he tells her, listen, come to Amsterdam. I'm going to give you a check and it'll cover everything. So when she gets there, he's like super cold, distant. There's a check already waiting for her. It's 500k. And she tries to cash it out or cash it in.
Wherever they do your checks.
Yeah. But this check does not get cashed by the bank.
Of course it doesn't. Can you even cash a check that big? Do you remember when we did the lottery liar? I think it was like episode 20 or something. And he tries to like, he writes a check to himself for like the money and then like cashes it. So then his balance comes up with that amount. And this is back in the day before shit got real. And then he printed out like a balance. So it looked like he had the 8 million in his account.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what this is giving.
So it's given exactly the same energy. But this guy is dumb because if it was me, I would just block her on everything after this. Why?
But then he needs her. He might need her again, so he can't.
But at this point, you've got. So anyways, so the check doesn't go through by the bank. And it was wishful thinking. And basically, they're not really in a relationship at this point because he's being really cold and weird. So when she tries to call him about this, he's extremely cold. He shouts at her. He basically tells her, like, I've paid you your money. You need to bounce and leave me alone. So Cecile calls Amex out of desperation because she's called the bank and they're like, yeah, we're not cashing this check. But they won't tell her why. And she said she felt crushing, like, stress and pressure because she had 9 different creditors after her, needing their money paid back. Bro.
How do you even go about your day-to-day life? Like, how do you even do anything?
You can't come out of it, though. And that's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter how many payment plans you have or this or that. You actually cannot come out of it.
You need it's the same way that a large amount of money was removed from your account. That's the same way you need a large amount of money into your account.
You need to go and find somebody to tell your enemies are after you because this time it's really for real. Your enemies are for real.
You need to pay it forwards.
So she calls Amex. And I don't even know what sub-story she told them because suddenly they basically said to listen, we're coming to see you. And she's getting panicked because she's basically committed. Yeah, but I think it's because they'd heard this story before. I think that's why they came.
Right. But who was even they? Like, what, a phone representative? Or who was it from Amex that came? Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, they probably
the
escalated it.
Or...
Yeah, they probably escalated it.
Okay, fair.
But she's panicked because she's committed fraud, essentially. And because basically she obviously wasn't with Simon when he was traveling around the world. So when they would call her to be like, hey, is this you? Are you making these payments? She would have to call Simon and be like, hey, what is it you're buying? So I can say that I'm the one using the card. So she really is in it as well. Like, it's not like he just took the card or whatever. Like, she had to verify that she was the one using the card. Because obviously Amex are like, the fuck, why are you here? You're not here. Do you know what I mean? Like, who's spending this? And also she lied about her payslip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a big fraud. So when they come, she shows them a picture of Simon and they look at each other and they're like, yeah, that's the guy. They recognize him and her heart just like drops. And basically they tell her that, long story short, he's a fraud and he has many fake names and he's done this to a number of different women. So at this point, her world is like spinning. She goes to Norway to be with her mum. She blocks him. He calls her, threatening her and say that she's gonna like pay for this. Every action has a reaction. Like that's his like,
that's his line.
He literally, and it's a bit mad because again, if it was me, I'd be like, cool, I've rinsed this girl. Nobody's ever gonna find out about it. Ain't shit she can do. Let me just block her and everything. I would be the one to block her. Why he doesn't want her to block him, I'll never understand. So Cecile was getting suicidal when she checks herself into like a facility. And whilst this is going on, Simon tells Pernilla that there's been a case and people are coming for them. He sends her the same fucking pictures he sent Cecile of Peter after he's been attacked by the enemies. And then he then asks Pernilla for $30,000. Why did I say that? For $30,000. Now, this is why I don't like Pernilla. Pernilla says that she didn't have it. She was living at home with her mum. and saving to buy herself an apartment. So that was like a lot of the money she put aside for savings. And there's nothing wrong with what she just said in terms of what she was doing. But it's like you give off the image of being expensive. And these are the people I don't like.
It's incongruous.
It's fam. It's not matching. It's not giving. Like, you travel all the way. You even said it. That was her opening gambit on this documentary, that she lives a certain life and she wants to portray it and she wants to attract people that live a similar life.
That have
but
the
your life
same
is
vibe.
living in your mum's yard and saving for a house, like each and every other one of us per annum.
Yeah.
So you're not an expensive
So why are you above
babe.
everyone else?
Fam, why are you above everyone else? Why do you portray that? And that's that shit I don't like.
Well, that's just image gang, innit?
Yeah, I don't like, but you know that I hate image people.
Yeah, I mean, also same.
You can be bougie and not image. They're two different things.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I don't fucking like
They're not
image
the same
people.
thing.
Yeah. And she's image, so that's why I don't like her.
Yeah.
So
if you see the way she's doing her hands, she said, image. I don't like it.
I don't like that shit.
I don't like
that's
that.
that shit I don't like. So she saved to buy herself an apartment, and that's her own deposit. And as a recent homeowner,
Come on.
even when I paid my deposit, when I transferred that money for my deposit, I sat down and I was looking at the floor for a long time. That is the largest sum of money that has ever left my account.
Honestly,
And
I feel...
I knew it was for a good purpose. I knew, obviously...
It was literally for the intended purpose.
Literally, it was for the intended purpose. I had the pot, but I was still like, rah. Just like that, this money gone.
And so this is I feel like when I'm saving for a house, I need to like save twice, because I would hate that I now have spent the money, obviously intentionally, for the house, and now there's nothing left. Now I'm just looking like...
I mean, I was lucky that I still had other savings, but even that pot that left, when it left that pot, I kept saying, come back, please.
And that was for something that you wanted, that you had spent it on, not for a nigga.
Not for a nigga. So she spent her deposit on this guy. Okay. And we're back to Cecile in a facility, because she's going crazy. And she starts, she basically calls Amex and is like, listen, I need some more information on this guy. And they tell her to Google Simon Hayut. So when when she Googles him, there's tons of articles about him swindling women, different lies he's told. He's even been to prison. And Cecile's like, yeah, enough's enough here. If the police aren't going to do anything about him, I'm going to stop this guy. So she sends everything, all their relationship transcripts, everything he ever did, everything he ever said, all of that shit to VG magazine in Norway, because she's like, she's going to get this story out there.
Yeah, I'm getting the story out, yeah.
So that she's in having talks with the magazine, and they send her the names of the other victims because she's never seen them before, asking her if she recognizes any of them. Best believe the last name is his baby mum. When she Googles, it's the mum. And she's just like, I don't fucking understand how you, being one of his victims, you testified against him at court, could have sat there and they never elaborate on that, but I really feel like that is such a... Like, I need to know the backstory. I need to know how I need to know.
It's like Stockholm Syndrome. Because the thing is, at first, I thought they were going to say, oh, that's not even his baby. Like, it was just some
I thought
friend or something like that. But it's like, maybe these scams are helping him provide for her and the kids. So it's just one of them things where it's like, boy, if he continues with this, I have money, I have somewhere to live, my child has something to eat. And so she's just like, let me just face my front and mind my business. But she should have been smarter with her decision making.
Yeah. So the VG magazine, obviously, they're journalists like Gatorlies. They need to fact check. They can't just take one person's word for it.
Come on.
So they go to Israel to confirm that the Simon that they're seeing online and everything is the same Simon they know. When they get there, they go to his house, which is in a very
somehow.
Yeah. It's the South London of Israel.
Wow. Put some respect on my ends.
There's no ends, hon. Like, I hate when people do that. When you move to certain ends, it's not the ends you grew up with. It's not the ends you have like memories in. Nada, and now those are your ends. They're not your ends.
It's my new ends.
No, it's not. It's
when
just
I go on the train, where am I going?
Stay at. It's where you stay at.
Okay, that's true. It is where I stay at.
Yeah, your ends are
is where I'm from.
Where I stay at.
Ew.
Okay, his ends are very South Londonish. I stand by that fact. I've been to Lewisham, hun.
I don't
I've
live in
been to
Lewisham,
Peckham.
so
I know,
I
but
don't live in... What?
these are all South London areas.
Okay, let gentrification come. Then will you be happy? Then will you be satisfied?
Listen, clear out the crackheads. That's all I have to
No,
say.
crackheads is for East London. Please, don't even play with me. East
every
London is
time
for
I
the
went to
crackheads.
Lewisham, standard 2 or 3 crackheads.
Every time I go to East London, the first crackhead I ever encountered in my life, East London.
Okay.
Well, maybe
so
they're
it's
tied.
the South/East London of...
Maybe they're tied.
Yeah. So when they get there, his mom's like, listen, I don't know this man. I don't know who this man is.
I don't know who
Sorry
that
to that
man
man.
is.
She basically says she has no knowledge of him. He left. He cut his.
He changed his name. I haven't seen him since.
I don't know if I believe her.
I kind of do,
Really, this guy is so
I think
evil.
I think she's either he left or she kicked him out. I feel like she's over him.
Yeah, and I can only imagine that she gets these visits once a week.
Yeah.
So, Israeli police confirmed that it's the same Simon. And
it's so funny that we've made him French.
Literally. And that, he's wanted in Israel. So, meanwhile, he's still asking Pernilla for money. And the payment he makes her bounces. And then he says, okay, cool, that's fine. He needs to go to the bank. They need to see him in person because it's such a big transaction. That can she pay for the flights?
This is such bum nigga behavior, but you're trying to
because
do...
for me, I just don't understand how you can think. This is the bit that gets me. How can you think you're the only person who can ask for money? Why can't he go to his daddy?
Yeah, it's true. But then it's also that feeling of like, oh, Captain Saverho, like you want to help him. You kind of feel honoured, like, oh my days, if he's asking me, like he must really need me, like I want to be there for him, like. And then he also does that whole like love bombing thing. Maybe not so much with Pernilla in a romantic sense, but he's taken you here, he's bought you this, he's done all this. Like they may feel a little bit indebted to him.
Yeah, but not this kind of indebted.
Yeah, but this is too much. Literally, like if you ask me for a quick 100, then fine, cool. Maybe I feel like, oh, let me drop you, maybe even 150. But like. You asked me for tens of thousands of pounds. I'm so sorry. No. I don't even feel bad about it.
So, she books the flights. And then he says they've put a stop on his account. So even if he goes on this trip, he can't pay her. So he says, okay, why don't you come over and I'll give you a watch that's worth over 100k and this should cover everything.
Goodbye.
So this babe books a flight. Ship this.
I hate that shit anyway because like, why do I have to now be selling stuff? Like, just give me my money. Why do I now?
I fucking hate that because you're telling me it's worth 100k, but what if I don't sell it for the 100k?
To who? Exactly. And now I'm out here putting in labor looking for a buyer. I'm sorry. Now you owe me more because I've had to put in work. What?
Exactly.
Just run me my money. What is this?
Run me my check, huh? So Pernilla gets a message from VG magazine and it basically says that Simon is a lie, and she meets with the journalist and he tells her the truth, and she before she meets with the journalist she says to Simon, like, sends him the article and is like, is this true? And he denies it. But when she meets with the journalist, they like she quickly believes that it's true because they had irrefutable evidence. So basically during this time she's saying that like the lifestyle they lived over summer could not have just been funded by Cecile's loans. So they realise he's running a Ponzi scheme where he takes money from one woman to spoil another woman, get her hooked in, get that one to take out loans, which he then uses on another woman. He doesn't stay in one place long, so it makes him a small-time fraudster in each case because, like, if you look in, like, London, for example, with Cecile, she took out 25 in cash, a loan here and there. Maybe her debt kind of all racks up to, I don't know, in terms of actual, tangible, traceable debt, maybe 60k, okay? And then he goes to Italy, then he goes to Spain, then he goes here and there and does all of these things, right? So he's not a big time whatever. It's very different for him staying in London and then running a scam that's worth like 1.2 million pounds.
And also his name is not on any of these cards. So as far as like on paper, it looks like Cecile's just gone mad and spent hella money. Like she can say, oh, Simon told me to do this, Simon told me to do that, but according to the law and the print on black and white, it's you that did all those things.
It's you that did this, yeah. So they go to Munich with Pernilla to film him, and this bit was a bit overly dramatic. They're trying to film him without him knowing. They set up are staying and meet him at the Mandarin Oriental. That was another place I was looking at for my wedding.
Yeah, that's a nice hotel, isn't it?
It's very nice, but wasn't for me.
No.
For dinner, and then he gives her the watch. When they see the camera like crew, they go off into this. I wouldn't even call it high speed chase because nobody was chasing them. They were just speeding through the city. It was very strange, and I don't understand why.
And then
they did
Penilla's proper like dramatic, like, oh, you know, I didn't want them to think that I was the reason that they were being seen. So I was like, oh, get me out of the car, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, I need
Your
to act
enemies.
the best I've ever acted in my life. And I'm just like, girl.
Yeah, right. Cool.
This was all probably in slow motion, like.
So back at home, Penilla takes the watch to the watch shop and surprise, surprise, it's fake. Simon basically says if so she calls him and confronts him. And Simon basically says that if she double crosses him, she's finished.
And every action has a reaction.
Every action has a reaction. So when the story hits, so they release their story, the women get a lot of backlash, but they have a lot of supporters as well. And so Penilla and Cecile bond and they share their stories worldwide, and loads of victims with completely different stories come forward. Like there was one where it seemed like he was babysitting their kids. It was just an array of different stories. Like it wasn't just romantic scams. Like it was just
a festival of scams.
Literally a festival. You'll probably never be able to know how many victims he had. So Aileen in comes Aileen. She's sitting on a flight from seeing her boyfriend, and then this story pops up. When she starts reading it, she realizes it's her boyfriend, Simon. And she sends it to him, and the plane's about to take off, and this is a bad bitch. The plane's about to take off. She puts her
Aileen
phone
is
on.
the only bad bitch in this whole thing.
Downloads the article, puts her phone on airplane mode. This nigga cannot contact her. So she, at this point, had been lending him money because his enemies had been coming after him. How many enemies can one person have? And then she had racked up 140k of debt. So she's looking at the article, reading the article, and she's looking at her texts that he sent her, and everything is word for word. Like the videos he sent her are the same videos he sent.
The videos of Peter are exactly the same.
Exactly same. The videos he sent her saying, I love you, exactly the same. He just changed the name. It was wild. So she says to herself, okay, cool, I've lost this money, but I'm going to swindle the swindler. So
she said, listen, it's not me that you'll get.
Yeah. So
she said, do me, I do you.
Fam, P square. So Simon is like begging her for money, and she's not giving it to him, but she's like, listen, I don't have the money. What do you want me to do? He was like, you can sell your car. You can sell your house.
Can you imagine?
Fam.
You in car, where's your house? Where's your car?
You that your daddy's rich. If it was me, I'll say, if it was Cecile, I'm sure she would have sold her car.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So he's like, okay, cool, let's meet in Prague. So she goes to Prague to meet him. And then he goes to a plastic surgeon, and basically he asks to get his eyes, like basically facial reconstruction. And the plastic surgeon's like, bro, no. Like, it's literally only criminals that want to do this. Because the reason he wants to do this is, like, the story has broken. He doesn't want to be able to...
he's too bait now.
Fam.
It ain't safe
on
the black.
People. Fam. So she basically says, listen, you don't have peas. Let me sell you some of your clothes and make you some money, like, back.
Yeah, because she works in, like, the luxury clothing
I was very surprised that he agreed to this, but I don't know. Maybe he was desperate. I was very surprised. So that night, she packs up all of her stuff, all his stuff, to take it to sell. And then she goes back and she starts selling his stuff. And then every day he's like messaging like, how the sales coming? And she's like, I haven't sold anything. I haven't sold. So after a while, he clocks that this babe has definitely sold stuff and she's keeping the money to herself. And he goes crazy, sending her like WhatsApp messages, telling her like, it goes from like angry to begging to I love you to you're fucking bitch.
He is incensed.
He's livid.
And then I feel like he literally just like, okay, cool. Like he's really angry. Like his genuine emotion is that he's angry, he's livid, how very dare you, yeah? And then it's like you're even more annoyed now because you feel dumb. Then you clock, okay, cool, this isn't going to get me the results that I want. You're back to manipulation. I love you, blah, blah, blah. Then she's not responding the way that you want. You're back to be livid. You're angry. Like, this man,
it's
literally,
just a cycle.
Like, the rage. I said, these voice notes, it's so funny. Like, I literally would send them to group chat and be like, listen to this nigga.
Listen to this nigga, begging like a begging man.
Begging like a begging man.
So, he sends her pictures saying he's broke, he has no money, that he's the homeless king.
I said, you were the Prince of Diamonds and now you're the homeless king.
I don't know if it's the English barrier or what, but that is wild. And also, like, again, this story doesn't even make sense because your dad is literally a billionaire. At the very least, just go to his fucking house.
Literally.
Like, even if you don't have money to gallivant,
Even if you're the prodigal son, just go home.
he'll accept you. Even if you do not have money to gallivant and parabulate, go home. So, he's eating leftovers at shopping malls, sleeping in hostels, and it's like, no, the fuck
How
you
the
are.
mighty have fallen.
So, anyways, she basically clocks that he's going to Greece. We're nearing the end. So she basically clocks that he's going to Greece. She calls ahead to tell them, listen, the police officers tell them, listen, there's this guy coming. This is the name he's using. He's going to be in Greece. Interpol arrest him on a fake passport. On-screen text tells us that Simon is sentenced to 15 months for his crimes in Israel. He spends 5 in prison. And once he's out, he launches a self-help business to give business advice. And Simon is still out and about. He's very much on Instagram. He doesn't even care. He's living lavish.
He's living his best life, man.
And even me, I'm confused as to what is the truth. Because if you go on Instagram, you won't tell that... Like, this guy is still living lavish. So is it that he's But do you know what? The wild thing is, even after this documentary, there are going to be women who will give Simon money. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
There'll be women who will give him money. So...
Yeah.
I don't know. But listen, Simon is a businessman.
He's going to be fine.
He saw an opportunity and he took it. And I feel like we should all endeavour to be like this in business.
I mean...
if we want to make it.
I mean...
I'm telling you the gospel truth. He saw an opportunity and he took it. Okay.
I mean, I feel like, obviously, manipulation is not the way. I do feel like, as women and as people with income, we should make smarter decisions. And we shouldn't let love and movies and fairy tales blind us. Because ultimately, if I was Cecile, I would have been like, nigga, no. I would have had my private jet holiday and I would have come home to tell the tale.
I said, if a guy even asked me for £5, I'd get the ick. What more, like...
No, but I think I'd get the ick more with £5 than 50,000. Because what do you don't have £5? Like, is that not a bit more disturbing? Like, bro, you don't have £5.
Yeah, it is a bit more disturbing, but I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, like 50k, okay, fine, cool, fine.
But how did you bury yourself into... That's the thing. Like, if I say someone give me 50k, I'm not in debt of 50k. I just want it because I could do 50k.
Yeah,
but how do you then get to yourself to the point of needing 50k? Do you understand? I don't need 50k right now.
It'd be nice.
I want it. It would be nice. So how?
Yeah, he didn't need it either.
I mean, he did, because he has no income other than swindling.
Yeah, but this guy's so fucking dumb. Yeah, if he took all this money that they gave him and settled down and started a business, it's all image. It's image gang. Because the only reason he wanted all this money is so he could come and do private jet. If he could have swindled one, two, maybe 3 women.
When you're using fake names and hiding from this police and that, you can't suddenly wake up and be legit.
But he could have. It's too much. He wanted to sustain the image too much.
Yeah.
If from the very beginning, he changed his name, he can have one crime name and one real name, and he uses the crime name to swindle the women.
On the crime name, he'll be like, oh no, that's my alter ego. That's my.
Excuse me, it's Tuesday today. Actually, I'm actually Simone. If you don't know,
that's Simon you're talking about. I am Simone.
I'm Simone. Nah. Well, yeah, so now it's... Oh, no, you didn't do the bit about... So basically, they no charges filed against him, yeah? And how the documentary filmmakers, they asked him to participate and he threatens to sue them. He sends them a voice note. He's like king of voice notes, this guy.
Literally, he is voice note king. Like...
Homeless king, voice note king.
We'll play
so, now it's time for...
The real crime, I think, was the beard.
Our segment where we focus on something during the documentary that may not be criminal, but we definitely consider it to be a crime. Have you got one?
Yes, and it's actually beard related. I don't know if you saw the pictures of Simon before he left Israel.
Oh, sans beard.
Before the beard. Yeah.
Listen, beards change lives.
That was the real crime. Of all the things I saw in this documentary, that was a crime.
Beards save lives, yeah. I didn't really have one. I want to say the crime was this stupidity of this romanticizing. And the thing is, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer. Like, obviously, if you're in love and you're romantic and you're that kind of person, like, fine, be that way. Like, you should be allowed to be that way without somebody manipulating you and stealing your money, right? but also like just couple it with sense, small, you know, just a dash of sense.
A dash of sense will go a long way.
Yeah, literally, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, and I think just dash full of sense, and that's it. They're still paying off their debts today. It's wild.
They are. That was another thing. So after all this, you're still Can you imagine? I can't imagine paying off a debt that I didn't
seeing
accumulate.
that direct debit coming out, and you're not even chatting to the guy no more.
Even when I see my student loan or NI come out,
that one enrages me. I swear to God, when I see my student loan come out.
Okay, so I don't even know what we're doing next.
Yeah, do you know, it's so funny because what are we doing? Okay, so guys, let's just be honest. The Janet Jackson documentary, yeah, we can do it. Like, we can do it, but then it's like...
We can't.
Yeah, it's a lot of episodes. I didn't realise at the time that we said we were going to do it. Maybe we'll talk about it later in the credits or something.
To be discussed.
What we'll do is we'll figure out what it is that we're doing next, okay?
And then
we'll
you'll get a trailer.
Keep it fresh, keep it funky, you know? Keep you on your toes and all that.
Surprise!
Surprise, bitches! But yeah, in the meantime, between time, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube at 2girls1doc. You can email us at 2girls1doc@gmail.com. You can send in your reviews, any requests, all that good stuff. Where can they find you?
Where you find me? You can find where you find me.
Honestly, I mean, if you just go on our Instagram, you can find us there. Yeah. And yeah, so trailer will be coming for whatever we decide we're going to do next at the time that we decide it. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you. And that's all I have to say. Sis, anything you'd like to add?
Nope, that's everything. Let me go book this ticket before my mum loses all sense of sensibility.
Alrighty. Okay, right, beautiful people. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
I'm shaving my hair.
In Britain, a growing number of parents are taking the bold decision to raise their kids without rules.
Total freedom, let them be kids. They don't need to learn how to read and write at 5 or 6.
Better to not have any rules. No rules means you can do whatever you want.
But what happens when there's no bedtime, no boundaries, and even no school?
Shit. I just decided, you're not going back to school tomorrow. And he just went, yes!
This no-rules approach is gaining momentum. And every year, thousands of new parents are taking their kids out of school.
I was just like, oh my gosh, they're all crazy. Like, what are they doing?
Could these kids be happier, more independent, and better equipped for life than the rest of us?
There's too much namby-pambying about, there's too much pussyfooting around everything.
Or are they playing a dangerous game with their kids' futures?
I did light myself on fire.
Then how do they learn boundaries when they go into a workplace or a social situation?
It used to be this kind of subculture travellers, it's not. It's normal people realising, God, what a better way of life.